Look at my like this feels natural.
That's what people were saying.
It's so crazy.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to a long-awaited edition of the Bad Nputs Gamescast. This is the Switch edition. My name is Toka Lurker, and sitting with me is your mother's favorite streamer,
CJ Ferg.
and he's playing his Switch.
And I'm not. We're not. But can we agree right off the bat we're not doing the snap thing?
You might have to step.
No. Yeah. Okay. Can we agree right off the bat to not do the snap thing, please? I've heard it. I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts, and every time somebody decides to make a Switch joke, they decide to snap, and everyone laughs, and it feels like obliged laughter.
What do you mean? What do you like licking the cartridge and stuff like that? You know, the good old stuff, the well-to-do that you should. I see people milling about the mall, popping out their cartridges, and then just licking it.
Like right away?
Yeah, just milling about, licking.
That's weird.
Horrible. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm not gonna lie, I did do it. I just was curious. It is really bitter.
Why the hell?
It's really bitter, but it's like extraordinarily bitter.
Because I forgot the name of the chemical they put on it, but it's on there so they prevent children from eating it and they spit it out. It's the most bitter element on the earth.
Oh yeah,
and people are fucking licking it.
Yeah.
So I hope you're all ready. You poisoned yourselves.
I was curious.
But I see you playing the Switch over there.
Yep, and I'm playing it in tabletop mode right now with the Joy-Cons, playing Shovel Knight, and it's unbelievably comfortable. This is kind of one of the things we'll touch on the Switch and stuff like later in the podcast, but like definitely off the bat, one of the most comfortable systems to date in mobile mode, and if you get a Pro controller. Because I think, personally, I don't like the doggy remote, but a lot of people do.
The fuck is a doggy remote?
The one it comes with. The little, where you switch God damn it! Focus. I'm so angry.
Focus.
They did it on purpose. Those bastards. No, not the game. No, I'm mad that I said switch. God damn it. Basically, you can kind of like, it's just easy to switch to the Pro controller. And the Pro controller is pretty nice, and it's... Like, all the ways you can play are really comfortable besides the doggy remote. But the doggy remote, and also the doggy remote's the one that has, like, the sync issues with Zelda and whatever. So, I have not tried it, and I'm not going to.
Are you saying docking or doggy?
Both. I mean, doggy, and also when one man sticks another man's
No, because I can't understand what you're saying. A docking or doggy?
Doggy, like puppy. Doggy remote.
What is it? It looks like a doggy remote?
Yeah, you've seen it.
Which one?
The one it comes with. The little where it's just like the Switch holsters, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they call it the doggy remote?
Or the Joy-Con holsters.
Oh, okay.
No, the game media world calls it doggy remote. So I'm giving into the hype because I'm a fucking cuck.
Well, people were calling the Wiimote controllers dildos for a very long time, so
that's
you gotta
true.
make it sexual in one way or another.
When they put the plastic coating on them, that's when they turned it. First it was a remote, and then they're like, hey, here's the Wii Motion Plus, which makes it not only control better, but it's now a dildo. It is now dildo mode.
Multiple colors for you. So honestly, it's kind of hard not to talk about anything else except the Switch, because that's the major topic until E3.
That's true, but there are a lot of games I feel like that deserve some praise and deserve some. Let's start with.
It's out recently.
Let's start with Horizon. I feel like Horizon with Guerrilla Games.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, God, man. That game, is it nominally different than a bunch of open world games? No, but it does its action sequences unbelievably well, and it makes you really feel like you're hunting dinosaurs. And that's something that a lot of games with dinosaurs have actually struggled to really pin down, that feels kind of genuine, other than like shooting the crap out of them like Turok or like some bad Jurassic Park game or something like that. This is a game where it's like, because you're in a time where dinosaurs would be kind of just on equal footing with you based on the technology, it makes everything a little more difficult. It makes everything that you have to plan a little bit better. You have to make sure you manage your resources. You have to make sure you loot pretty much every robot, horse, dog thing you fucking kill, because you need that stuff. You need to craft arrows with the on-the-go crafting system, which is great. I love that, especially when you're in combat. It slows down time. You get to make whatever arrows you need, or sling stuff, or
is it hard finding materials?
What?
Is it hard finding materials?
To some extent. So like at the start of the game, it's pretty easy to find stuff. They try to give you a lot of stuff so you can upgrade quick and make you feel like you're pretty powerful. Yeah. Which I like. It makes you feel like you have you don't feel like a weak idiot going through the world. You feel like you can control yourself very well. But as time goes on, you have to find them and grind maybe a little bit more, or you have to trade and sell stuff a lot. But the best part about this is not a lot of open world games do this. They have a weird MMO like treasure box system.
I don't want an MMO in my open world game. What does this look like? World of Warcraft?
It is. It basically is. It's got purple, green, and blue weapons.
There's rarities?
Yep.
I did not know that. Are you kidding me?
Yep. And each one costs more. Like each one costs more in scraps, or or if you want to craft it, it needs like a special rare sort of meat or a special part. What are you? Turned into a Tourette parrot. Its weapon system with its armor system is honestly really, really good, and you get to upgrade things very quick. But with that treasure box system, it allows you to kind of cater to what you need. They'll have treasure boxes that have more parts for like a specific type of animal, or a specific like scraps, or parts for crafting. But some are just completely random and literally gamblers boxes. So like I bought like 4 of those. And
gamblers boxes.
How much are the boxes?
Did you say gambling boxes?
It is a gambling box.
What do I get from these boxes if I gamble?
You don't know.
I'm feeling giddy. I want to see what's in these boxes. What's happening here?
It literally can be whatever.
Really?
Yes, literally anything. So it can be parts, it can be ammo, it could be money, it could be clothes, it could be a new weapon, it could be anything.
Jesus. Loot crates.
But the thing is that I don't know if there's tiers for gamblers boxes yet, because so far I've only just found like a flat rate one.
Yeah.
But I've opened about 4 of them, and I got like 3 of them were 20 scraps. But the first one I opened in the entire game, I got 500 scraps, which is a shit ton. And I was like, oh my god,
what the hell?
This is great. Yeah, and I paid 20 scraps to get that box.
What did you get with it?
That's all I got. So with the scraps, I bought. I think I bought some like brand new armor, and then like a really, really good sling. Yeah, I think I bought like stealth armor. So I love that bartering system, because you'll also find traders just throughout the world, just in random places. So they never make you kind of go back to like, oh, this shop has like the main best stuff. Like they all are connected to each other, which is great.
I like when games do that. They just have like wandering merchants going out there. Like, oh, you got something to sell?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Thank God, I finally found you. I need help. So you also played. It's gonna make you feel pretty old. Yeah. You played Guerrilla's launch title for the PlayStation 4, which is Killzone Shadowfall.
Yes.
How does it compare?
Oh, it's not even close.
Like in terms of like, because you said the Shadowfall was pretty good, right?
Shadowfall is great.
Like, to actually like transfer over into like an open world game. Like, did they do a great job of that? Should they have stuck to their guns literally and maybe just keep doing Killzone games, or can they comfortably step away from what made them for like the last decade or whatnot?
I will go as far as to say as they could probably experiment with a lot of different genres and do very well. Killzone was really, really good. I loved Shadowfall. I don't play a lot of first-person shooters, and that was one I could not put down when the PlayStation 4 came out. Granted, not many games were out for the PlayStation 4 at that point, but I still loved that game, and I still played the crap out of it. Yeah. They do very well with shooters, and they do well with combat. I think they do great with open world. I think there's a few cheesy parts with the dialogue that they could have improved upon. Yeah. It's a little weird when everyone's kind of talking like they're from 2017 in a world that's supposed to kind of was like futuristic, and it now is ridiculously simplistic and primitive.
Or is it?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is like I'm giving it leeway for that. Like I'm saying, like because they were in a future part at one point, it makes me go, well, maybe it's plausible that they can talk like they're from 2017, because this could be 2082 or something. Yeah. I don't, or 2020.
You have to wait for Eloy to just get into that hidden rocket ship under all the rocks, just go straight to the moon, and then in the sparkles it just says Horizon 2, Spring 2019.
Oh my God! Then it turns into No Man's Sky. Just a planet exploration game.
Speaking of No Man's Sky, there was a trailer out for that today.
Yeah.
So the new update that they're doing, It involved cars. It involved going fast. It involved some pretty cool music that was not dubstep. It kind of sounded like Muse, so make what you will of that. And then also you can just scan in your car. The bases, there's actually ways to leave messages for other people. Hello, technical difficulties. We're back and we're talking about No Man's Sky. God, speaking of technical difficulties, if that game just came out the way it looked in that trailer,
right,
it would have looked a lot better.
Yeah, well, yeah. Describe a little bit of the updates that we saw.
I want you to tell me something. Sean Murray shows up at your doorstep.
Yep.
He rings the door. Bell. You open the door. What do you say to him?
I tell him, I'm sorry that PlayStation put this pressure on you, but you said yes. You said yes to the way that they were going to market you, and you were confident that you were going to release a game that, in a way, was not finished, especially after this update. This update looks more like what they promised off the bat.
Yeah.
And if they were just transparent about where that game was, whoa, IGN, you are a rude motherfucker. If you were just a little more transparent about the way this game was going to be on day one, no one would have been upset as they were. But my God, man, that was one of, if not the worst release of a game ever.
Wasn't it just funny in a fucked up way, though? Like, just
it is a little bit.
Not like the people losing their minds and whatnot and sleeping, not working, but like just the way it happened, the way it went down, and people can finally realize that PlayStation sent them to die, especially with that stage they're on.
Yeah, and hashtag spools, right?
Well, like we said previously, there's a lot of cool stuff that went into the update, so I think it's worth checking out. If you already own the game, I'm pretty sure it's free. They don't have the balls to put a price tag on any DLC. If they do, then I have no words for them.
Yeah, they can't. If they're going to put price tag on the DLC, it's got to be something. I think $10 is literally the highest you go with that. If that, you make it $5 because you're basically desperate for fans at this point. You've pissed off a lot of people that pre-ordered your game, and goddamn IGN, they pre-ordered your there you go. They pre-ordered your game and are really pissed. And they showed it on the Steam reviews just how upset they were. Like, I'm pretty sure you're never getting those people back. And if you're going to get the people that never bought the game because they either didn't have the money and then saw B later that the game wasn't very good. Yeah. Like, you got a lot of making up to do, man. And I don't think putting out a DLC for like $25 or $30 is going to be your smartest decision.
And he's like, please, just come on,
fuck no.
Come on.
I'm not paying half the price of the game for giving me more of the game that you should have fucking finished earlier. Like the game, like that's what makes me upset is like you all those people paid $60 and then it's like if he has the audacity to be like, give me $25 for a more completed yet still half-baked game.
My short answer is that's the generation we live in right now.
It's true.
All games are unfinished. This is a horrible segue, but we're looking at the Destiny Age of Triumph opening trailer. It's a new piece of DLC that's coming out for Destiny, and all the raids are coming back, and some storylines probably happening, but the audio's off. Who knows? There's a rumor going around that Destiny 2 is supposed to drop this fall.
I've heard that as well, and this is actually kind of interesting to watch this because from what I've seen of the Destiny community after Destiny 2 was announced that the save files would not transfer over.
They won't?
They will not.
Yeah, start fresh?
Yep, after they promised that they would. They literally wrote it out in writing from Bungie saying that they plan on keeping and preserving everyone's characters that they make, and this was like years ago, and somebody retweeted that or like put it under the announcement that Destiny 2 save files were not going to transfer over. So this Age of Triumph is kind of funny, and I'm kind of wondering how many people are going to buy it, because if Destiny 2 does drop this year, then there's going to be a lot of people who buy Age of Triumph and going to feel like they're just wasting more time for the inevitable Destiny 2. And like,
there's got to be a way to change that up.
You got to transfer save files or nothing. Yeah. That's in my opinion. That's inexcusable after all the stuff you've put the Destiny fans through.
If that's the case, then I'm hoping it means that there's going to be a new system in store That the Destiny 2 is going to work completely different.
It's going to be on the Scorpio and not be able to kind of transfer over or something like that.
Not not even that, just like the game mechanics to the point that you don't even need your old shit. Like you're starting like this is going to be what Destiny 1 should have been, because there was an article that came out I think the summer of 2015 about it wasn't even done, but Bungie and Microsoft, they kind of need this game to come out.
Yeah.
So
they hyped it up too much.
Yeah, the bare bones is what you got.
Yeah.
Microsoft, the fuck I'm talking about. Bungie and so I think I said Sony, right?
I think you just said Microsoft, but it's easy to get Bungie and Microsoft like.
Shit looks like Halo. Yeah, this one won't be rushed. Maybe there will be a way to keep all your old stuff. Maybe your level will transfer over.
Yeah.
But we don't even know what's going to be in the game yet. It's understandable. I'd be pretty pissed off too.
Yeah.
There's lots of games that I've saved over files because I didn't think a sequel was going to come out. All of a sudden, lo and behold, the new game's coming out. I'm like, motherfucker, it's all gone.
Yeah.
All my shit's gone.
It's a bitch.
Especially if we yell at them loud enough, they'll listen.
I hope so. Well, it's just weird to promise something off the bat and then as Destiny 2 is something where it's like, oh, well, this game could actually secretly be 6 months away or 9 months away or whatever. It's just kind of bizarre, and it's kind of like it almost feels like Bungie hasn't really learned its lesson with this game. Like it just if you're right, they had to release it quickly, but it wasn't until like 3 DLCs later that they got their shit together. Like it's disconcerting. It's also annoying. Again, like if you're somebody who bought Destiny day one, $60, and you've bought all the DLC, which is probably what, $70 extra total, like $70 extra with that, and like you spent like $130, maybe $150 on this game, so you could get your character to a certain point and make sure it's caught up, and then Destiny 2 it just kind of goes, fuck you. Like to me that makes me like, ugh. It's the same crap that we've given Nintendo for with like not transferring over virtual consoles, and it's like Xbox and Sony, or like Microsoft and Sony with most games have been pretty good with that stuff. And it's kind of weird that a game that especially is an MMO, where that's also, I think that's the biggest part, where I have to like, where it's a game that involves a lot of time dedication and a lot of grinding, more so than any other game. More so than any other game. And it's I don't like that. It just makes me go, ugh. Like you know people want that, and you're purposely going fuck you. That makes me just ugh.
That's why I find it hard to believe, especially since all of it's just rumors. Nothing is true yet. We don't know.
I want to hear. Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed, but I will.
You can't transfer.
I'm pretty sure. I'm about 90% certain.
I'm finding it hard to for them to stand on that, because like you said, it's an MMO. And if it was an adventure game, then yeah, whatever. But this is an RPG, and I think people are gonna want everything, all their stats and stuff, to transfer over to the next game. And a lot of people put a lot of time into it. That's why I was kind of curious about it. I didn't think there was going to be another piece of DLC coming up for Destiny. And then this dropped. But I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? An anniversary of some sort. They're going to try to celebrate with all the raids coming back. So you get to do that.
Yeah.
If you're playing the game.
I mean, there's definitely stuff to be had in Destiny 2. Obviously, I think it's something that it won't be the end of the world at the end of the day. People are going to be really upset when it happens, but I think people, just like Destiny's been through its entire life cycle, everyone's going to complain about it while everyone buys it.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a big deal really at the end of the day, but it is a little like, it's just kind of like what Blizzard did with the legacy servers at first, and they finally brought them back. It's just weird that you kind of stomp on dedicated fans so quickly, or at least rumored to be quickly. Like it's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
While we're in space, did you find it?
I have not found it. Destiny 2 save file.
I was gonna say, while we're in space, you should go to the other part of the galaxy, far, far away. Probably not, because who knows? They might be in the same universe. I'm gonna write that fanfic. I should. John Shepard makes out with Destiny person. Ignore that. There's been a lot of Mass Effect 3 info not leaking out, but being presented from the company, since Mass Effect 3 is due to come out pretty soon, and they want to show what the hell is out there in terms of combat, people, planets. The worlds are very vast and individual. I believe there's 7 worlds, and each of them have different climates and whatnot. And the robot computer lady, she'll tell you what points of interest on each world, so you kind of have an idea where you should go. but there's still things that will happen to you on the way to that destination, like people getting raided or some treasure. So how does the game look to you?
The game looks amazing. Man, this is going to be the best Mass Effect. I think easily the best Mass Effect. I'm calling it, man. It's just, I know it's, I especially after watching a lot of game journalism, I probably shouldn't just be like, it's gonna be amazing. But don't get No Man's Guide. It's 2017 has been nothing but good to everyone this year, and I just doubt that this game is going to fall. It's just going to falter. I just don't think it's going to. It looks like it solved all the little issues that Mass Effect had, which was we were saying earlier, bubbles. Here's a combat system. Here's your ship. Here's when you're out of the ship in the Citadel or something. And then that's it. None of that really combined. Nothing really felt like it all meshed together. This feels like it does. Obviously, I think the combat and exploration is better than it's ever been. We'll see with the story.
That jetpack is a beaut. I'll tell you what.
It's so good to hear it.
And then also just to move mobily. Not even there's verticality. You can strafe left and right. It opens up the world a lot more when you're just not looking straight ahead. Shepard felt like a piece of freaking cardboard in the first 2 games, and then you finally felt a little looser in the third one.
Felt way more fluid.
But when you go to the Citadel, you're trying to help someone find something, and you kind of feel like it's a waste of time. So I feel like in this game, what kind of bugged me about 3, you're gonna have a lot more adventures. You're gonna go out more and help people. You're gonna do a lot more things on the planets in these vast, sometimes kind of scary and just straight up beautiful looking worlds, instead of just being on a city trying to help people, milling about. Just milling about.
And when you did go to the worlds, like 3 did a better job of immersion, because like there was a lot of places that were like complete war zones. When you went to the Asari planet, that was like one of the coolest parts of that game, was just because it was in such ruins, and like the monsters were really creepy as opposed to the rest of them in the game. Like that was cool, but like even so, there were just many parts where it felt like you're running through like sand or planet place, or you're running through metal building with technology. Like this, just again, it just feels like a actual world that you're going through, and it's kind of nice. I have found the Destiny thing, so this is it. So it's not that they're not transferring anything, but the things that are not transferring over are, in my opinion, the biggest things. So if you've reached level 20 and completed the Black Garden story mission, so that's the conclusion of the vanilla campaign, you will keep your class, race, gender, face, hair, and markings. But you will lose your powers, all your equipment and items, and your silver and Eververse items, both silver and the stuff you buy with it.
I wonder what that means.
I don't know what that last part is.
Not part, but like just you losing your gear.
I don't know.
Because there's something tricky about transferring data over for games, especially like MMOs. If you allow it to transfer, that's scaling from the start. Like for the enemies and all that stuff. If it doesn't scale, you're a level something badass.
That's true.
Going through the game.
That is true.
So if you're going to do it, your weapons are going to suck. Your equipment's gonna suck, and that's why they're letting you keep your aesthetics.
That makes sense.
Look like. So that's what I was like. Maybe in New Game Plus you can transfer over, but from what I see, like what people are using in raids to fight creatures, maybe you can put a lockbox in your Destiny 2 game, like all your previous items, and you can use it later.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to just start over, but hey. You're level 80s.
yeah, I see what you mean. I feel like I think people want it to be kind of a World of Warcraft thing where it transfers over, but that was something where it's like it's level cap raised. So if it gave you a ton of time with World of Warcraft, and I think Destiny's sort of done the same thing. But I agree. Like if somebody, I'm sure there's a ton of people who dropped off of Destiny after. Like I was one of those people. Like I loved Destiny when it first came out, and I dropped off of it after I beat the campaign. I dropped off of it rather quickly. So there could be people like that who didn't like the way that they handled their online system or the way the game was, and then want to jump right back into it. And I think for those people, it's That's what they were basically saying. Is Bungie has basically said, we believe this is the best path forward. It allows us to introduce the major advancements and improvements that all of us expect from a sequel, ensuring it will be the best game we can create. And then here's the keywords: unencumbered by the past. We're looking forward to sharing more details with you later this year, where we will honor your legacy in the future. So yeah, they're basically harping on what you're saying. We want to make sure nobody has a leg up on anybody else, but we want to make sure that you at least feel like you have some semblance of your character. And they're not wavering support on Bungie 1. Or Bungie 1, I'm sorry, Destiny 1.
Bungie 1.
They're not wavering support on Destiny 1, but that is kind of, it is just weird because once Destiny 2 comes out, I would imagine that there's going to be a decent amount of people that are just going to go straight from that and drop off Destiny completely.
Especially that unencumbered by the past. That's a nice way of saying, hey, we don't want to transfer your stuff. We kind of want you to forget about that last game.
Yeah.
This one's going to be really good.
Yeah.
We promise, until you sell it back to GameStop.
They sold back to GameStop. Well, they've been working on Destiny 2 since Destiny 1 came out, right?
Oof.
That's what I remember hearing when Destiny 1 came out. It was like, Destiny 2 is already in production.
That's a very long cycle of development.
So it's been in production for about 3 years now. If it does come out sometime this year, maybe holidays, I would imagine, it'll probably make the most sense in terms of just getting the most sales out of it.
You're right about being spoiled in 2017.
Yeah.
If you write to a video game channel, podcast, a website, or whatever, I don't care what you do, and you say, I can't find anything to play. This is kind of difficult. Cucklore 15. Like, no, it's absolutely not.
Yeah.
The most packed spring ever, from what it sounds like. We're going to have a very competitive fall/winter.
Oh, yeah.
Save up to $200 to $300. You're going to get a bundle, whether it be Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, with one of the games of the year. Or two.
Jesus Christ, man. Wait, is the Scorpio supposed to come out this year or next year? It's supposed to come out, I want to say holiday this year.
It all depends. How much do you love Big Daddy Phil? I couldn't say that.
God.
At my last job, there was a guy that would call in for one of the people that worked in the office, and he would always go by Big Daddy.
That's weird.
Horrible.
Oh,
horrible.
So did everyone have to call him Big Daddy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awkward.
I was like, hi, Big Daddy's on the other line.
Oh,
that sucks. Speaking of Big Daddies, Nintendo dropped a Big Daddy of a console this week.
Oh, my Lord.
This month, called Nintendo Switch.
My baby.
And they have some things they want to say about indies. Call if you want to read, I guess, the second half of it.
So basically what Nintendo's talking about is their indie stuff, and they're really going into it. What we've got here, basically, this is from, who is this from? A baker of some sort.
Biz. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see who is quoting this. Somebody Baker, but yeah.
Do you think this is a reputable site?
Gamesindustry.biz. I mean, it could be.
Joel
Rubin. It's sponsored. The GDC 2017 coverage is sponsored by the Mogi Group. So I mean, who's that?
That's the guy who wrote it.
Well, all right then.
Damon
Damon Baker. Oh, that was the guy that was on. Okay, so that was an NBC, but anyway, it's a different podcast. Baker has basically said, what we've got here is we have identified a bunch of those developers that we think taps into what resonates really well with the Nintendo audience in particular, and showcasing why that content fits so well on Nintendo Switch specifically. What we're looking at Switch is this is a complementary platform. Or the way we're looking at Switch, I'm sorry. If it's on Steam, then there's no reason why it shouldn't be on Nintendo Switch as well. If you want to take that experience on the go, if you want to have a baked-in multiplayer experience, this is the system to do it. It's got those points of differentiation, but we're not trying to go head-to-head against any of the other platforms. We just think to that, if the content makes sense to be over on our platform, then it should be on our platform. We haven't opened the floodgates yet, Baker said. We are just really taking an approach on the launch window to make sure the content really resonates with fans. We're not saying no to the content that only uses the touchscreen or doesn't use the Joy-Con in a unique way. But at the same time, we're trying to encourage those developers and have a conversation with them and say, look, fans are probably expecting these types of fun features and functionality in the game. So maybe they should consider them and take a look at what it would take to implement that technology into the game if it makes sense for that type of experience.
That was a mouthful.
It's a lot. I mean,
what does that mean to you?
It basically means to me that indie developers are looking at every way this system can be utilized and putting it to the fullest. And I think that's the conversations they're having with the indie developers, is saying, we've got this infrared camera thing on the right Joy-Con, we've got this tabletop mode, we've got the 3-part motion control thing, we've got TV mode, we've got motion control, we've got touchscreen. What can you do with this? What can you bring to this? And especially when listening to NVC, indie developers are thinking, especially a lot of them think pretty outside the box from a lot of AAA developers. There are AAA developers that think outside the box. I'm not knocking on them, but there's a lot of indie developers that take inspiration from those and make some really creative stuff that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I think Nintendo wants to harp on that with a system that we've never seen before, where it's this very bizarre hybrid, but an awesome mobile console. And they're saying, what can you do with this really weird technology that we're bringing? And I think that we're going to talk to you guys first, as opposed to AAA developers who are focusing more on graphical capabilities and how much stuff can you pack into a game, rather than what is the content, what is the stuff that's grabbing people on Steam, like an Undertale or a Stardew Valley kind of stuff, where it's very unique but familiar. That also, as he said, resonates with the Nintendo audience. Harvest Moon is a Nintendo game. So is Stardew Valley.
You think Harvest Moon Switch will be coming?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely. Can you imagine chopping stuff with this? They were saying because Overcooked is coming to this too, and they're saying that you're actually going to be able to use the motion controls to chop, and you're going to feel the chops. Like, look, is it gimmicky? Totally, but it's at least something that's like, for sales wise and for people, for a multiplayer experience, and especially on this system, I think it's fucking genius. In that, I think on any other system, on the Wii or the Wii U, that shit does not fly. That gets boring and it gets stale, or like the Kinect. But with this, when you can have a bunch of people all in a room, each with their Switches, or you can each give somebody a Joy-Con or a Pro Controller and feel it, it's pretty freaking cool. And especially if you have the money to buy an extra set of Joy-Cons, where you can you basically can give all 4 people of Overcooked a Joy-Con, and they can all do the chopping, or they do the cooking, or they do the serving, and it has a different feel to it. It's cool. I think this is good. I think Nintendo's going straight for what the Switch needs.
Yeah, and that's pretty much Nintendo's stance. I mean, ever since they've made the Nintendo 64 and almost with the PlayStation, that would have been interesting. They want to be different. They've always tried to stand out from everyone else, no matter what it is.
It's true.
And they would always just smile on their face because they know that they have the ability to. And that's why I always respect and love them for what they do, because they're driving forward everything. We had that whole motion control, human motion control bullshit, all because of who? Freaking Nintendo.
Yep.
And so now, like, they took a step backwards with the Wii U, which wasn't even honestly a step backwards too much.
Not really.
It was just the marketing. Like, the marketing is not even comparable between what the Nintendo Switch is now and what you saw for the Wii U, because there was nothing on TV or on the internet or bus anywhere for the Wii U. And so that's already like a miles of a difference to show that, okay, yeah, we fooked up. We talk about this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They fixed their mistakes.
They did in some regards. I definitely think there's still some stuff that they could have fixed. I think if we're gonna discuss the Switch, definitely not having VC Day One is a little bit of a bummer. Not having online, like having that be known, is a little scary. But I'm hearing they're talking to Netflix, they're talking to Hulu, they're talking to all the big basically media sites or video sites that you need for something like this, that you'd be basically watching in your bed all the time. It makes sense. But it's just their timing. Like, Nintendo got the hardware right, they got Zelda right, they're getting the multiplayer games right, and I think they're getting the indie games right. But their timing fucking sucks.
Yeah,
their timing's awful.
That's kind of how it was with the Nintendo Wii, if I remember. I thought kind of the same thing happened. Netflix didn't come to the Wii till like I don't know, months later. I remember it being like there in November. Yeah, if anything, like
it was pretty late.
It took a little while, but it seems that they trust that people will play their other consoles in the meantime when other stuff comes out.
Or the games will carry them.
I feel like that's been one of their unquotable quotes that they'll never say out loud, which is why that They're cool with just having 2 games out. Binding of Isaac's coming out, I think, in a couple days. If not today, you can play that also.
That's really cool.
And I guess the question is, will this be discounted ratings-wise, not ratings-wise, review-wise, just because it's not entirely a home console? Or do you think this is self-made competition with the 3DS as being a really great mobile console?
That's an interesting question.
Or is it just too early to tell?
I don't think it's fair to really put a number on it or what this thing exactly is just now. I definitely think,
because there's a greater chance of having multiple friends that will buy a Nintendo Switch rather than multiple friends that will buy PS Vita.
I agree.
Do stuff like Mario Kart 8.
Absolutely, and especially with the tabletop mode, where then everyone has their own separate screen with online capability. Like it brings back the couch multiplayer, but with the capability of everything that we've had with online, like every console we've had before, like Xbox, Xbox One, PlayStation. Like it's that sort of multiplayer environment, but with the couch co-op feel of it, because you can just kind of bring it anywhere. And it's really I love that concept, but I think it's too early to really put a number on it. I think its best potential is a mobile console. I think that's it's where it's going to shine, but I think the 3DS has its ups to it too that the Switch doesn't have. The 3DS is way more portable, and right now Pokemon Sun and Moon isn't on this. It's going to be there in Holiday, like a version of it, or like the new Pokemon, which
Pokemon Meteor, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it's going to be.
That's when I'll probably buy it.
That's going to be cool. That's going to be like once a Holiday is going to be the time to really buy this thing for sure. But it's got its ups and downs, and I definitely think that having no idea what the online service is right now is a little bit worrisome. But I'm optimistic based on the way this thing is. And God, what was your second part of the question with the Wii U?
Do you think it would be? Do you think they're out competing themselves because they have now a Switch and a 3DS? Do you think this puts them at a weird crossroads
where they're kind of trying to outsail themselves?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because they're kind of right now, they're in their own market. Nintendo cool, they're chilling, they're doing whatever they want mobily. While now, like PlayStation and Microsoft, they're outdoing each other, but because Xbox sucks, Sony rules. So now, like, what are they gonna do? What's Nintendo gonna do? Are they gonna stop making 3DSs, which they literally financially cannot do?
Yeah, they can't.
Because can they go all in on the Switch? Is the question I'm asking. I think.
No, not yet. I think you maybe give it. I'd say you give 2018 just see how that works out for the Switch, and then maybe start talking about what you're gonna do with the 3DS. Because if the 3DS numbers they are going to dip off just because it's been around for so long. But if you start releasing more games, like you're releasing Fire Emblem games, you're releasing another Pokemon game, whatever it is, maybe an actual decent Metroid game, whatever, it could still do well. But I don't think it's I don't think it's trying to outcompete itself, but I do think it's trying to separate itself so far from the Wii U that you completely forget about it. I think it doesn't want you to forget about 3DS, but it wants you to completely forget about the Wii U. And I think they're going to support the 3DS for a little while, but maybe again 2018 and then maybe 2019 we'll see. But I don't think that they have the support yet to go all in on the Switch until an online service is shown to us.
So hopefully by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Zelda. Zelda Breath of the Wild released March something? 5th?
3rd.
March 5th? 3rd?
Yeah, released when the Switch came out.
March 3rd?
Yeah.
3rd is the word.
3rd is the word.
We got our hands on it. You can go to our channel on youtube.com, Bad Inputs. There's no I, because there's no I between I and you and us, whatever.
I'll make it a longer second episode because I realized 10 minutes for episode 1 is way too short.
I don't know. That's where we talk about this. There's not really Zelda Breath of the Wild is not your normal sequential go to each dungeon type of game. This is an open world, which is not open world in the sense of like modern open world where you have guns and shit.
Yeah,
it's like open world in the sense like you're actually in a valley and canyons and frosty mountains, and you're trying to explore and find out where to go. And then Colin, he has a little bit more detail about what this game has and has in store for people waiting to play it.
I'm going to try to stay grounded with this as trying to be a game journalist.
What do you think? I've been trying to fucking find online.
What a biased grounded review or unbiased grounded review?
It took till 3 o'clock in the morning today to finally find like a even keeled review of this game.
It's hard to do, man. This game is pretty encapsulating. I'm not gonna lie. It's really, really good. But I'm not gonna try and suck this game's dick too much. But this game just did open world things really, really well that a lot of open world games have struggled to do for a really long time. And that is get the feel of freedom. Get the actual feel of I'm not playing a game, I'm on an adventure. And and Horizon did a good job of it. But there are still markers and things all over the map that are littered, and you want to go there and you want to go here and you want to light everything up that's white or transparent into green, so you know that you found it.
False freedom.
Not false freedom. I mean, you could still go wherever you want, but it's like being on the internet full of ads. Where it's like you're just trying to go to the thing you want to go, but somebody's like, hey, go over here. Don't you want to see this thing? This is the next big thing. No, but go into this dungeon. This dungeon is the cool. And you're like, dude, I get it, but like, just shut up. I want to look at things. And Zelda does a good job of just letting everyone just shut up and you just doing whatever you want.
It is a very peaceful game.
It really is. And some people have complained that there's no music. And there's some parts of it that I wish there was more music. There's parts of it where it feels a bit empty, but when you're riding like a horse, it has like kind of like a do-do-do-do-do.
There's a little jazzy music that plays during some fights I thought I heard.
Yeah.
Like a little piano.
There is. And it's cool. And it's good. The music, the little music that you get is good, and I think it's satisfying. But this game, I can't put it, dude. I can't put this game into. I literally cannot put this game into words.
Preface this. In terms of like Zelda fanism,
yeah,
I'm like a 2. Colin, what are you?
Oh, about an 8. I'm about an 8, maybe a 7 on my bad days. Because I haven't played all the Zelda games, but every Zelda game I've played, I've loved.
That's why he definitely is the one to talk about this. He has the experience behind it. So is this coming just from a place of Zelda kind of it got stale maybe for you and a lot of other people?
It absolutely got stale.
Or is it like a combination of you got the Switch and also a game that's new with the console that's new from something that sucked from before?
It's honestly, I could say it's part of that, but it's about 5%. It's honestly having the Switch and playing Zelda is great, and it makes the Zelda experience a little more complete. Sure. But Zelda on the PlayStation 4, on the Xbox, I don't care where you play that game. It's a goddamn good game. It's just good. It just does everything well.
So what's like different about it? What happens when you try to get to one of the mini shrines? Because those are what they're called, right? Like
they're shrines.
Sheikah shrines.
Yeah, the Sheikah shrines. So when you're going to those, they have a pretty subtle system for you to find them. It's just a little sensor, and it beeps, and you have the option to turn it off if you want. You can turn off the sound, and you can just look at the little sensor on the bottom right.
I guess annoying.
Yeah.
Thank God you can turn it off.
Exactly. They made sure that you could turn off all kind of the annoying crap, and they made sure like the blinking red one heart thing. It's still a little annoying, but it's not as annoying as it's been in previous Zeldas, like in Ocarina of Time. God forbid.
Oh, come on. That was like 30 years ago.
Oh, dude, that is one of the worst you're about to die noises to this day.
Yeah.
Just kill me, man.
I thought you were talking about Navi.
Navi was also terrible.
Like, we can't knock him too much for that.
Navi, and that's something they took away in this game. Is it's kind of Zelda talk to you briefly. You talk to an old man briefly, and like without too many spoilers, and that's pretty much it. And then you just go, and then no one tells you shit, and you can talk to people who say, "Hey, there's directions to go here, there's directions to go there." But you don't have to ever listen to them. You can take on Ganon immediely. And there's just not many games that do that. There's not. I don't think there's any game that I can recall off the bat you take on the final boss from your own freedom and not a scripted fight.
Ephemeral Fantasia, and that was the last game I remember doing that.
How long ago was that game?
That was like 2002.
Yeah,
that was like when Starbucks started getting popular.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I keep fucking dying. And then I looked on Gamescast. I was like, you have a choice to go to the fight, or you can like shell out the story a little bit. I was like, that's dumb. I returned it. The game wasn't too good, also, but yeah, that's something that's honestly, that's never really harped on,
and not done well. Like Zelda's first area it still gives you that freedom, but it does keep you in a restricted area, and it introduces you to all the mechanics of the game and how you're going to upgrade yourself and all that stuff with weapons and whatever very quickly and succinctly, which is the best part. It's succinct. It just goes straight. It's boom, and it's all the shrines that they make you go through are somewhat challenging, but they're quick. They just give you about 2 to 3 little challenging parts, and it's like bam, there's your spirit orb. You're done.
Physics puzzles, right?
Yeah, physics-based puzzles with powers that you get pretty quickly. Again, they give you a sense of power very quickly with these new. They give you like some sort of, because it's pretty early on in the game, they give you kind of like a magnetism thing. They give you bombs. They give you a little stasis thing, and they give you like a little water pillar thing. And they're really cool. And each one has its own uses, and each one you can use in really creative fashions. One, it's like, hey, here's the obvious way to do it. But then they make puzzles where it's like, all right, that thing that you were using as a platform, now use it as a slingshot.
Yeah, and there's any way to do a puzzle. I think there was one weird secret dungeon. There are 3 different ways to go up a ramp, but balls are rolling down them. So you can use the stasis ability just to freeze the balls so you can have enough time to run up. One streamer, oh, Jesus Christ, the S. One streamer. One streamer, he froze a ball, and instead of just moving them, he just pushed all the balls backwards. He's like, I did it. I was like, yeah, there's possibilities for everything.
Yeah. I really enjoy it.
How's the durability?
Huh?
How's the weapon durability?
Crappy. But it depends on the weapon. Once you get better weapons, like with higher stats, the durability becomes less of a factor because you kill enemies quicker.
Yeah.
So it's like the durability actually seems like it doesn't vary all that much. There is kind of a degree of like really bad, decent, and really good.
So what about saving? Because even the stronger weapons, they kind of had better durability, right? But they're still going to break.
Yeah.
So what if you need it for a boss? Or like a puzzle or some shit like that. I don't know.
It's usually how quickly you find weapons is pretty easy because when you kill enemies, it's like God, what was the loot system where it dropped everything? I can't remember. Like Fallout. Yeah, like Fallout or Skyrim, where it's like the things that were on them they dropped and you pick up.
And everything's pretty much a weapon from what they use, right? Okay.
Yeah, there's
okay.
There's there's clubs around. You can use like basically what seems like trees. You can use tree branches. You can use skeleton arms. You can chuck the weapons too, which is cool. You'll probably break them quicker, but there's weapons that are also designed specifically for throwing. There's like a throwing spear that does more damage if you throw it rather than you stab them with it. There's halberds. There's like they give you. There's parrying. There's also like dodging at the right time to give you flurry attacks. Like they have a pretty deep combat system where the durability doesn't really matter all that much. And because they give you arrows, they give you like magical rods sometimes you can find.
Even an array of items that you can use instead of just your normal weapons.
Yeah.
And your environment also.
And it's really cool. And then the cooking system. So like you can use, before I get into that, some of the stuff you can eat, you can like make your defense better, you can make your speed quicker. You can do all this stuff to give you a leg up that you wouldn't think of before. So, and you can beat all the bosses in a different way. So like one of the first bosses off the bat, I think small spoilers here, it's like a rock dude. It's really not that, he's just a big fucking rock. It's literally all he is. And he chucks his arms at you as basically a projectile. But he has a big like black rock mark spot on his back. And you have to blow that up. But you can shoot it with arrows and hurt him, or because he's a rock, you can just climb up him.
Yeah.
You just climb up him and beat the crap out of him. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
I first tried the arrow approach and it wasn't working for me, so I just was like, screw it, I'm going to climb up, and I just wailed on him and I beat him in like 5 minutes. Yeah, it was
pretty fast.
Yeah.
How big was he?
It was pretty big. He was decent sized, but not like Dark Souls huge. But it's just great, man.
So how do you upgrade your health and stuff like that?
That's where the shrines come in. The shrines come in with the spirit orbs. You get 4 spirit orbs. You pray at a great fairy statue, and you can get a heart container, or you can get a stamina wheel upgrade. And those are the only ones that give you, and you can find them throughout the map. There's like a big one in the Temple of Time when you first play the game, but there's ones that like, you go to a village and there's like a mini one there that you can do it. It just, the pacing, I think that's what makes the pacing so great is they keep the shrines scattered throughout.
Yeah.
Like a ton of them. And they give you a sensor so you're always finding them. And then there's always those statues around. So after you find 4 shrines, you can either A, fast travel, which is very easy to do with the loading screens, which is basically like, it's very quick. It's anywhere from about 8 to 20 seconds of loading.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. And 20 seconds is the max, and that's when you're fast traveling from like somewhere really far away, which you kind of get.
Yeah.
Like I understand that. It's just, it flows very, very well. It never feels like you have to backtrack a lot. It never really feels like you have to grind. It never feels like you're running out of items. It never feels like you're running out of money. It never feels like anybody gets stale.
It seems like the hardest thing about it is just the combat. Other than that, it's like you really are free to do whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about like, oh shit, well I need this or this or this or this. So it's, yeah.
You can kind of do it how you want. And even the combat, even to its, when you're fighting and hitting the buttons to attack, it's pretty simplistic. But how you approach it is the best part. That's the best part. Is it's very Metal Gear 5 in that way, where you can sneak attack, and there's like, you can drop down from a cliff and glide and then do a jump attack. You can sneak into their little like skull base that they have and shoot like their exploding barrels. You can pick up an exploding barrel from later and chuck it. You can pick up a torch that's on fire, then throw the torch at the barrels. You can shoot them with arrows and snipe them with headshots. You can throw bombs at the, like, you
There's
see
anything you can do.
It's literally anything, dude. It's you can do anything.
There's so much you can do.
It's really cool. And then I haven't even delved into the cooking system. The cooking system is the best.
It feels like
of a game.
The cooking system is the best thing about a lot of the games that come out in cooking systems.
No, really?
It's so weird.
What other cooking systems have been like?
People won't shut the fuck up about FF15 also. Ignis is cooking and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
is
they
that
take
good?
pictures of their food because it looks realistic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I like that.
Also, that just like tickles me. I was like, that's the oldest mechanic. And I kind of hated it in RPGs. I was like, fuck. Just sit around a campfire and just like, cook stuff to like give you buffs.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm interested to see like they actually put it in a Zelda game. That's not in a lot of open world games. Besides like syringes that give you upgrades, like in Far Cry and stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
kind of make on the go instead of like actually cooking.
Yeah, exactly. Or stuff, and that's kind of what I like about it too. Is like Far Cry is kind of one of those games where they kind of expect you to kind of go. And Zelda definitely gives you a lot of opportunities to just sit down and like enjoy that you're in a giant, cool open world. Like one of the mechanics of the horses is that if you let them go on the path, they'll just go on the path. No matter, and you can let go of the controller and literally just look around if you want. And they kind of took some Zelda 2 with this. If you're on the path, you're most likely not to run into enemies.
Oh, okay.
So that they let you really enjoy the scenery and go from place to place and be uninhibited if you want that. And if you don't want that and you want to go and fuck up a bokoblin camp, you can go do that too. Bokoblin. But the cooking system, it's a bit tedious at times, but that's literally like, it's so not, that's such a minor thing that it doesn't matter.